Consistency.
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 Doesn't guarantee that you'll be successful, but not being consistent will guarantee that you won't reach success. Instead of spending time getting in the mood to work, just start working. Confront the work. People think they need perfect conditions to start, when in reality, starting is the perfect condition.
If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing. And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? Clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, if you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day, you can skip a day or two, you know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency.
Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. Keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
Consistency, man. That's the name of the game, bro. Don't get much simpler than that. If you keep going every single day and don't stop, your competition will fall off, bro. These niggas ain't cut like you, bro. They ain't ready for prime time. They ain't trying to really get right. They take days off, this day off, that day off. They lazy, I'm tired. No, grind every day, one foot in front of the other, bro. And I promise you, I'm gonna be lapping these folks, bro. Give it a year, watch what happens.
Concentrate single-mindedly on one thing at a time. Pick the most important thing that you have to do and concentrate single-mindedly on doing that and only that until it's done. The ability to concentrate single-mindedly on the most valuable use of your time and to stay with it without diversion or distraction until it's done gives you a tremendous sense of power and confidence and self-esteem. Working on low-level tasks is a real downer. You can work on them all day. At the end of the day, you feel tired and depressed and negative and you have low self-esteem because in the back of your mind, you know you're not accomplishing anything. All success is preceded by single-minded concentration on a single task for a long period of time before it's accomplished. There are no successful people who have not developed the ability to concentrate without diversion or distraction on the one thing. Andrew Carnegie, who became the richest man in America, said that the ability to do this and learning this one secret, the ability to concentrate on the highest value task, was what was more responsible for his fortune than anything else.
Hey dawg, look, we got 4 months left until the new year, bro. I know you probably feel like you ain't, do everything you're supposed to do, but I'm telling you right now, if you lock in today, if you start today, 4 months is just enough time for you to get your life together, bro. You're not too late, you on time. I'm letting you know right now, if you just get focused, you grind, you cut out all the distractions, bro, you just lock in on your goal, I'm telling you gonna get it, bro.
Courage is defined as the ability to act and to go forward in the face of uncertainty. It's to face the fact that you may not succeed. It's the willingness to take chances and to take risks. The future belongs to the risk takers. The future belongs to people who are willing to take the risks necessary.
The first question is, what is the best advice you've ever heard or received?
Believe in yourself.
Second question, what is the worst advice you've ever heard or received?
It can't be done.
And it's that most people quit at 40%.
That's it. That's my 40% rule, man.
I love that quote.
That's my 40% rule, man. And I really developed that through my heart surgeries, and I developed that through that first 100-mile run. Is I thought I had given 100%. When I was on that chair at mile 70, I was fucked up. I thought I'd given 100%. And to go that last, I go, man, I wasn't even near 100%. So I came up with this thing called the 40% rule. It's basically where it's like a car. You put a governor on a car, and let's say the car can go 130. That governor stops the car at 91. And you're driving thinking, man, I want to fucking floor it, but I can't go any faster. We do that to our brain. We put a governor on our brain. The second we feel pain, discomfort, suffering, all those words that we hate to say because we're in this happy, peaceful world we live in now, we stop. We slow down. And if you can get through these different barriers and gain 5%, 2%, 3%, that 40%, that 60% becomes 70, 80, and 90. And then you'll hopefully one day near 100. I don't know many people who probably at 100. We think we're there, but there's so much more.
Isn't 100 at death's door, though?
I love that. And I think it's true. I think that's 100% true.
I think when you were laying in that tub, you'd knocked on the door.
That is 100% true. No one has ever, that is 100% true. I didn't give 100% in that 101-mile run I did for the first time. So that's the scary thing. That's the scariest thing in the world. I didn't die.
You probably gave 99.99999.
I guarantee it.
Man.
Because you might as well be dead. Seriously.
If you always put limits on what you can do, physical or anything else, it'll spread over into the rest of your life. There are no limits, there are only plateaus. A man must constantly exceed his level. You want to get up every day and try to be better than you were yesterday in business and life and everything.
Because if you started diets and you failed, you started working out and you failed, if you just make it longer every time before you fail, you're still making progress and you're still doing something that everyone else isn't doing. And that is the biggest meta indicator that you possibly can, is because everyone sucks. Like, so many people are mediocre. Like, half of the United States is in debt. They don't even have they're negative net worth. Just saying different than that, the bar isn't high.
You can do anything that you want to do. For example, as I've told you before, I lived in the back of an old car. I taught myself to read and write. So if you're young, don't give up. Don't say the world is just against me. That's not true. I taught myself to read and write. I've had 5 books published. I went to college, got a little bit of college. I've studied scripture for many, many years. I've raised 5 children. So a person can accomplish anything that they want.
I now see anything is possible, and that you could train for anything. There's nothing you can't do. You can't be the best in the world at something, but you can be a lot better than you are at anything you want to put the time into learning, whatever it is. You could do anything.
So the first and best way to stay poor is to start tomorrow. So whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's losing weight, saving money, starting that business, whatever it is to start tomorrow. So that's the best thing you can do to stay poor, is just start tomorrow.
Everything I've ever done in my life, I didn't want to do. Everything, every day. I'm a lazy piece of shit, and I'm one of the hardest working people that ever stepped foot on this planet Earth. And I'm saying that very proudly, because I know what I do. It's not cocky. I'll tell you I'm stupid, and I'll also tell you the exact opposite of what I've done. It's the truth. It is the truth. So imagine how much I've developed in that time frame. But this is the scary thing. Why most people don't want to do that, build that willpower, is because it is scary. It unlocks a whole bunch of things about who you are and who you're not. And a lot of people don't want to go down that journey to discover who they are and who they're not, because it's not a pretty journey. I mean, I've gone down it. It's not like I went down it once. I go down it all the time. And when you unlock that, and you can't just turn it off. Like, people say, hey, well, how come you haven't retired yet? I built all this willpower. Do you think it's gonna let me just retire because my knees hurt? It's telling me every morning, I wake up like, man, my knees hurt, my legs hurt, my body hurts, but you can still run. So why aren't you running? If you can still run, there'll be a time when you can't lace them up anymore, but you can still run. So I still run. When the time comes I can't run, the body will say, you just can't run. But if I can still do something, that willpower that I have created, it makes me do it every fucking day. And that's what they don't get. What builds a human being is you start with the small building blocks. And before you know it, man, you become something that it doesn't even make sense to most people, because it's just who you are now. That's why I can still run at 50 at 49 with broke down knees and broke down body, because my body knows you still can. Therefore I do. Second you stop, the willpower is gone.
As soon as you start thinking that you've mastered something to the point of an end, like you kind of missed out what it's all about in the first place. It's all about, you're constantly uncomfortable. You're supposed to be constantly uncomfortable. And then in these little victories that you get, the good thing about when people tap, you get I get a little nice feeling right here.
Yeah.
I
then they're like, let's go again.
And they're like, fuck. Back to being uncomfortable. Yeah. And there's no getting around. And then he taps you and you're like, shit, should have quit while I was ahead. No, because you're missing the point. The point is that it's a long path, a long, arduous path, and I think anything that's worth doing is probably like that.
Girlfriend breaks up with you. Okay, then you go into work and you sulk because you're distracted, and then you don't do the same level of effort and you're not enthusiastic. And then all of a sudden your work suffers and you get put on a PIP or you get fired. And then now you're fired and you don't have a girlfriend, and then you start gaining weight and you stop going to the gym, and all of a sudden you're like, man, bad things happen in threes. It's like, no, bad things happen all the time, and they only become interrelated if you let it affect your behavior.
Anything you want, you can get, period. And you gotta wake up and tell yourself that every single day. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself what you really want. You're the one. And when you realize that, I'm telling you, you're gonna be very powerful, because you can control what you can control. The world is in your hands.
75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years. 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time. Don't waste them. Get your head out of the rat race and forget about the superficial things that preoccupy your existence and get back to what's important now. Right now, this very second, I'm saying that you can become a seeker. You can be loving more, you can be taking some chances.
For me, I made a decision, and my decision was to be the best person I could. And I basically, a lot of mornings I wake up and say, fuck your feelings.